It's just not enough. Enough.
Okay, so the first element is this open melody. So to make this, I've just used a wavetable synth in Ableton. Oscillator 1 is just the basic shapes at 75%, and it's taken down an octave. And then Oscillator 2 is the quad saw, which you can choose from the drop-down menu, and that's at 0%, and I haven't changed anything else. And then within the matrix, I've changed the amplitude and the filter 1 frequency. So as you can see when I play it, the saw wave jumps up to more of a square wave. And then within the filter, we've just changed it. So we've got a low pass filter, changed to 24 decibels OSR, a little bit of resonance, a little bit of drive, and a frequency at about 240 Hertz. And then we've just changed it to mono and set the time to 20% so that when the filter changes, it just changes a little bit slower than it would have otherwise. Just got an EQ8 cutting out all the low frequencies that we don't want, saturated with a bit of drive, and then we have a Serum effects affecting the delay. So we've got quite a high feedback at 84%, left on a quarter and the right on a 16th, and then it's just all normal, and we've got about 30% mix. And then just to top it all off, we have an LFO tool, just to sort of give it that pumping motion within the sound. You can really hear at the end there. Okay, so then we have the melody, which sounds like this. Okay, so this has been made with the Mini V3. So we've got two saw waves and a square wave. And then we've got this set to 8, 16, and 4. And then you can see the volumes there as well. And then I've got a little bit of peak noise coming through as well, with a filtered at 500 Hertz and the contour at 24%. And then for the filter envelope, got the attack almost all the way down, decay at about 85, and the sustain all the way down. And then for the loudness contour, we've got the attack at 20, the decay at 1500, and the sustain at about 5.3. And then just make sure polyphonics turned on as well. So within the effects, we have a chorus on number 2, dry wet at about 20%, and then a delay as well with dry wet at also 20%. So then we've got an EQ8 just cutting out some low frequencies, a saturator to add some harmonics, and then an EQ8 to cut out any of the higher frequencies added by the saturator that we didn't want. And then that is just sent to a reverb. And then we have an LFO tool doing the same thing with the other melody, just sort of giving it that pumping feeling. So for the undertone, also again done with the Mini V3. And again, two saw waves and a square wave. Quite similar there. And then with the cutoff, that's the same as well. However, the attack time on the cutoff is a bit slower, and the decay time as well. And then for the loudness contour, that's a bit higher, and the decay time is about the same as well. And then for the effects, the only thing that's changed here is the chorus has changed to number 1 instead of number 2. So again, there's an EQ8 and a saturator, and then another EQ8, same as before, with a reverb and an LFO tool. And then we have the low end, which is the bass and the kick. As you can see, I've just got a glue compressor just gluing them together. brought down the threshold and added a tiny bit of makeup. So for the kick, it just hits on every quarter note. Every second kick is higher in volume than the first one. This is because on the first one, the bass hits as well, but on the second one, there's no bass, so you want that kick to really shine through and hit hard. And for the kick, it's just I've just used a basic default Ableton kick, some Serum effects to add a bit of saturation. Drum bust had some more saturation, cut out some of the mids I didn't want, and some of the highs I didn't want as well. And then for the bass, I'm just cutting out the highs I don't want. I've got an LFO2 on it as well, doing some sidechaining, which is doing the same thing that it is to the melodies as well. So the Serum preset is really easy. It's just a sine wave sub with a sine an octave above. I've added a bit of release and lowered the decay. And then I've just put MG Low 12 filter on it. So for the percussion, I've just used this pert cowbell. I've upped the release a little bit, and I've lowered it by 8 semitones. And I've also added some random pan 20. So what this does is, as the name says, it randomly pans it depending on how much you've set it to. So if I set it to 100 and I solo this, you can see it just plays in like different sides of the audio spectrum. So for this, it's a pretty simple idea, but I've just got the velocities going up and down to make it sound more humanized. And then for the hats, I've just got 3 hats that you can see there, all from Ableton. I've got it going up, down, and down, up, which you can hear here. On the hats, I've just got a vocoder, which gives it a bit more of a high end, and it sort of just flattens out the shape a bit more. It makes it sound a bit better in the mix for this sound. So here's with it, and without. It's a subtle difference, but it definitely does make a difference. So finally, we have this reverse bit at the end. And that was made by just taking these 3 notes here, and then just copying that out to an audio file, flattening it, and then just reversing it, and it comes up with that. So you got this to this. And then finally, I've just got a glue compressor, just gluing the whole mix together. Thanks for watching this far. If you're interested in supporting me or downloading the project file, you can purchase it and others from our website down below. And in doing this, you're supporting me to be able to make more videos more often.